How we all doing? How you doing, Jay? You all right?
All good, mate. All good.
Right. Quick disclaimer. Jay's he's in Spain. He's having issues with his internet. I'm going to see how it goes. If he starts to fade out, I'm just going to cut him off. So we're going to see if his internet settles down. But yes, so a bit of an impromptu show. We've got the final on Sunday. We've got exciting times with all the players that we're linked with at the moment. So I just thought we'd do a live show, just get it done, get us booted off. So yeah, Jay, are you all good? Can you see everything all right? Can you see me?
I am all good. I can see you. Thank God I can see you, because I wouldn't be able to live if I couldn't see you, Nick. So I'm so happy I can see you in a minute, brother.
Good stuff.
But most importantly, what I'm going to do is keep my head as still as possible, which is hard, because I've got a big head and it's hard to keep me straight the best of times.
Just don't move.
Unless I move.
Yeah.
Yes, don't move and just talk. There is so much to be excited about. And that's not just because as a man, I'm a positive laxative. I'm telling you, there's bundles to be proper excited about at the minute with West Ham.
Next season, yeah, there is. I mean, obviously we know that Tim Steiten's been backwards and forwards to Rio throughout the summer. He loves a trip over there. But the latest one sounded like it sounds like this geezer kicked the two others from the channel. No, Epic, no. Mickey's at his. Where's Mickey? Mickey's at his nephew's presentation. John's in his cab. John's in the chat. Yeah. So no, that's not the case. It's not the case. But yeah, as we know, Lopetegui's been back and forward to Brazil. He's been in and out, looking at players. He's gone over there again. I think a lot of people were confused why he was over there. I certainly was this time. Apparently, he's gone out there to speak to Paqueta. He's gone out there to speak to Paqueta. Apparently, he's not in a good place. Well, he is. He's in Brazil, but he's not in a good place himself. I'm just a little bit like concerned, because he's gone back home. He's gone back to Rio. Do you think there's like any chance at all, if you're Paqueta and you're worried about it, because this could extend further than just an FA breach? If he gets found guilty, it could turn into a criminal charge. Do you think there's some sort of concerns there with him? You know, maybe even getting him back over.
The thing is, in regards to I don't know if that's news to me. If that's a definite that it can be definitely changed to a criminal case, then yeah,
it can escalate to that. What he's being, this is, if you look at this versus the Ivan Toney case, if he gets found guilty for it and there's evidence to prove that he did what they're accusing him of, let's fuck it as serious, mate. Yeah, it's serious. That could become a criminal case.
The reason I mention that is, then doesn't that straight away rubbish any rumours of, because I heard it as well about transfers. You know, Flamenco came in apparently with some talking ridiculous
it was a loan.
Money, and then sort of announced.
Yeah.
Oh, was it a loan even? Yeah. It was something silly, weren't it? Basically,
it was a loan. Yeah. So, well, the thing is, you take a risk on a loan, I suppose. Not because I don't know whether. I think what I've read. So not what I think what I've read. What I've read is, obviously, if he was to get banned by the FA, that would only be relevant in this country. But then immediately what the FA would do is they would apply to FIFA to apply that ban worldwide, because otherwise what would happen is he could just go and play elsewhere, you know, until and that harms the investment for West Ham, because then all of a sudden we've got this asset and he could just piss off somewhere else. And I don't really know how it all works. This is a bit. I don't know if this has this happened in football before. That, I mean, the Chelsea guy, was it Mutu, wasn't it? Didn't he get he got done for drugs? But yeah, I don't know. I hope, I really.
To be honest, this is, I think, new territory for everyone, because even as I know all of this is being talked about, but the truth is, if it could potentially go to a criminal case, I'm just trying to get my head around how they could even think about any form of transfer at the minute. It don't make sense. It makes sense that he's unhappy, and he wouldn't be unhappy, but I don't know, unless you know, that don't seem to make sense.
I think they're just exploring all the options, mate. Well, I don't think they are. I mean, obviously, Flamengo were just might be the case that they were trying to pull a fast one, get him out of there. I suppose if you got him on a loan, and because look, he's a world class player, isn't he? He is. We know he is. but I'll just be a little bit upset, really. No, I'd be completely upset because I think that Paqueta is the ideal player for Lopetegui. I do. I think if we was to have him for next year, I think you'd see. We've seen great stuff from him already. I know he did fade towards the end of last season, but honestly, I think that player would be. I'm going to say it, phenomenal. It'd be phenomenal under Lopetegui. He would be, but playing a different style because we've got so many players from last year. I think you touched on it on a little video you done early on a community, and
Hey, this is the thing.
we've got
This
so
is
many
just
players
on that.
already.
We got play, and I admittedly, I listened to you talk about Lopetegui's style of play.
Yeah.
But what I hadn't done, admittedly, was actually go in, and I spent a few hours today watching loads of his tactics, his philosophy, his interaction with the fans, and it's just completely like that's when I messaged you earlier. Said, mate, there's so much to be excited about.
Yeah,
The style of football he plays is for West Ham fans is going to be such a beautiful fit. How successful it'll be, obviously, I'm not saying I know that, but the fact that what he's going to try to do because of how he coaches, we've got so much to be excited about.
Yeah, mate, we have absolutely, and the thing is, well, what's exciting? What's exciting is again something that you touched on earlier on. We're back in the realms of the unknown. I like that. I quite like it. It's exciting. You don't know what you're going to get. We're still at the stage now where we don't know what signings we're going to make. You know, we've made a couple already. I mean, I do know one of them, John Duran, because obviously that's obviously. I think that is going to happen. John Duran. The only thing that could throw the spanner in the works there is the widely reported issue that there is in France at the minute, where Ligue 1 they're struggling to get a TV deal. None. There is a risk. So it's effectively like BT Sports and Sky Sports pulling their funding from the Premier League. No funding whatsoever. There's a risk of 8 clubs going bankrupt in Ligue 1. So obviously there's going to be a bit of a raid on those clubs. People are going to be circling, trying to sort of pick up some cheap players as and where they can. So I don't know whether that is going to sort of change our direction. But then again, I'm not sure because it does feel like this year. It feels like there is a bit more of a strategy. It feels like we're going after players that we want rather than players that are being offered to us. Or look, that player's become available. It's like that old. It's like the January sale thing, though, isn't it? Do you know that sale? You can get this for a bargain, but it's kind of it's something you don't fucking want. So you've got it for half price, but it's something you don't want, something you don't need. Whereas it feels now like it does feel like because you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it like we're going in scattergun because there's been loads of players that we've been linked with, but if you look at the players we've been linked with, there's comparisons there.
Right.
It looks like there is sense to the targets. It looks like there's sense to the targets that we're going after.
Mate, and that's a definite. That's it. Just before I say, what's it called? Ligue 1. Is that how it's pronounced?
Ligue 1. Yeah.
Anyway, so if you look at the players, all that stuff about being linked with someone was saying like 180 players, a lot of that is obviously bollocks. But the players we have actually genuinely been linked with, if you then look at how he plays, like I said, it looks. I mean, we was talking before about the fact that he's a goalie, and he spent his whole career playing at top clubs with top teams, both full of top defence, midfield and attackers, and he got to witness it both coming at him and going in front of him. So even that, all of it is reflective in his philosophy of football. He's a very flexible manager. He can literally play on the strategies and tactics thing I was watching earlier. Mate, it's a bit of everything. Dependent, he's basically proactive rather than reactive. He's looking all the time to see where it's like chess. It's brilliant.
It isn't a one size fits all. It won't be. You know, I think he's made that very clear. He's all about winning games. But where a lot of people have kind of got confused with him is they've said, oh, he always plays 4 at the back. He's never played 3 at the back. It's not true. It's not true. When he was at Wolves, if you look at that tactic on paper, I remember watching Wolves. I watched and I read a tactical breakdown of his tenure at Wolves and the style that he played. And on paper, it looked like a 4-2-3-1, like a standard formation, but it fucking wasn't. When they were in possession, it turned into a 3 at the back. You got players underlapping, overlapping, fucking fullbacks joining midfield, players dropping here, going all over the place. and it was very much in possession of three at the back, and Max Kilman was the left of the back three. And it turned into what we've been talking about now for, best part of almost, not quite a year, but where we've been talking about the new tactic that's been implemented throughout the youth academy, the 3-4-3. So this is something that I can see us doing. I can see us playing. And don't forget, it's kind of what we've done just recently with England as well. And that tactic looks all right, doesn't it? The last two games, it's looked decent. It really has. So I haven't got anything against that. When I did have a big problem with three at the back under Moyes because it wasn't three at the back, it was five. I think if you play three at the back,
it was shit as well.
Yeah, but if you play three at the back, your wing backs have got to be up the pitch. They've got to be further forward. They have to be, because they're the ones that provide you with your width. But yeah, as John says there, it's fluid formations. It is.
Right,
Hold that down a bit.
And just on that don't it make sense now that we think we have lots of right wingers and what we keep saying we've got all these. Well, in the style of play he plays, he could have look at Saka. He was right wing back for England, wasn't he? Do you see what I mean? It's that different style of where so you can even because he does a lot of the overload in his tactics as well. It's really attacking in his mindset. He had, when he was at Sevilla, they had the highest progressive game in the but there was 75% the most progressive footballing team within in the Liga.
The most crosses in the fucking league as well. So when he was at Sevilla, there was no shortage of supply into the forward. Yeah. So talking about the forward, that's obviously an area that we're going to be addressing this season. I thought there was going to be a chance that we might be getting another season of Antonio. Do you think they're going to sell Antonio? Do you think Antonio will be happy to sort of sit there on the bench and play as a backup? Because for me, I'd like to keep Antonio as an impact player, but it's whether or not he wants to do that. But yeah, I don't know. And this Jonathan, this John Duran, there's so many people. I know there's a few in the chat that are not keen on that signing. I just think it's so fucking exciting. I do, and I know he's a bit of a head case, but so what? So what? Honestly, we've had him before. A lot of our greatest players that we've had have been head cases. Di Canio, he's one of them. So I've got no issue. I've got no issue with it. There's enough characters there. There's enough people to sort of keep him in line. And I don't think that they'd be splurging 35 million on him if they weren't sure that they could get a tune out of him, and they weren't sure that they could address it. If he was as much of a lunatic as what Aston Villa are making out, then. Because this is the other thing from a Villa perspective as well. So they're the ones, it's their senior sources that are putting out stories that John Duran is a problem. But then on the next hand, they're saying, oh no, we won't take 35, we want 50 million for him. You're like, well, hang on a minute, you're saying he's a fucking arsehole and you want 50 million for him. Make your mind up. Is he worth 50 million? What is it?
Mate, listen, going back to the Antonio thing, first and foremost, I'd love Mickey to stay as an impact sub. If he's staying for any other reason, then we're not progressing, because this is the point now. We're supposed to be getting in someone where he is now going to be, if he does stay, just an impact player, because the person we're going to get in is going to be faster. They're going to have a better touch. They're going to have a better finish, because there's nothing against Mick. I love Mick, but we now need a proper striker who fits the bill, who fits how Lopetegui plays football. And importantly, in regards to Duran, if people looked into his backstory, you then probably think, is it an attitude, a bad attitude, or is he just grafted through stuff that we in the Western world wouldn't even think of, where he's from in Colombia and what he had to do to get to football? So he's just desperate to want to be the man for everything he's gone through. Mate, I'd love to have that attitude, leading my line at 20 years old at West Ham.
I do believe he's an arsehole. I do believe he's an arsehole, but I've heard the backstory from this. I know the backstory. I've already said it, but he wasn't an Emery signing. Emery wanted someone else, but they've got a director of football there. They've got a guy that spots talent, similar to what we've got here, and they saw somebody, 20 or 19 years old when they bought him. Got him in for 20 million, I think it was, from Chicago Fire. Sky's the limit. This is a guy, because his ceiling is up here. His potential is ridiculous. So it's a really good signing, but Emery didn't want him. So they've brought this player in who wants to play, and Emery's trying to hold him back. He isn't that character. He's not going to be happy sitting on the bench. So they've clashed. They've clashed. It's as simple as that. And he's played up. He wants out. You know, similar to a degree to what happened with us and Haller. I have got a bit of an announcement to make as well. You know, the only change on this channel this week, you know, there wasn't the only one. I've got in this setup that I've got, right? There was only one thing that I've never sort of purchased, and these are my old DJing headphones that I've got. You know, when I was into DJing, and bit of sentimental value. My mum bought me them, so back when you know, I think I got them when I was 18, and this week my dog ate them, so I've had to change them for these fucking things. So I've literally had them for that long. Look, they ain't even got, they're tatty as anything. Look, they ain't even got the leather on the cup or anything like that, but they're so comfortable because I've got a massive head. And now I've got to wear these things, which have never been comfortable because it feels like they're squeezing me brain in. So yeah, I've got to try and find some comfortable headphones because this is.
You'll be lost weight then, isn't it?
I can feel. Yeah, but you don't lose weight on your fucking skull, do you? My head's massive.
Yeah, it's lost.
Yeah. There is one more thing as well. I want to give a bit of a shout out as well. So many of you would have seen on Twitter that a chap called Jake was trying to get hold of me to make a video for his dad, Lee, who had slipped into a coma. So Lee was he's a long-time claret and boozer, West Ham fan, obviously, long-time claret and boozer, and I don't know the reasons why. They're still investigating, but something happened. He ended up in hospital and he slipped into a coma, and he said his dad was obsessed with the channel, and he said, look, it really mean a lot if you can make me a little video and send the video off to him. So we did make a video, you know, me, Mickey, Gary, we done like a little segment each. I stitched it all together and flicked it onto Jake, and he played it for him. And apparently the next day he woke up. I'm not even joking. I'm like Jesus. I am. I'm like Jesus. It's amazing news, isn't it? But he said, I've said to him, he said you can take full credit. So I'm going to take full credit. But congratulations, Lee. Honestly, it is fantastic. Really is good. Really is good. I'm sure it was.
And you're not fucking about with he woke up the next day.
He woke up the next day. Yeah. Woke up the next day. So
Jesus, I told you that earlier. See,
I know. I said to him, I said I'm going to take full credit for it. I said I am. You know.
Well, mate,
it was quite a funny video. It was quite a funny video. It was quite upbeat, you know, because obviously if he liked us, so we were sort of shouting. We were shouting at it, you know, and I sort of introduced Mickey as the annoying little pew tosser. And he went, hello, it's Mickey, not that fat cunt Nick. He said that. So it was quite good. It was quite a perky video. So yeah, look, I'm sure it had nothing to do with it, but you know, you don't know. It's good. It's good. Good story from this week.
The dog that bark, is that the one that ate your headphones, by the way?
No. He's in the garden. Yeah, been allowed back in the house since. Go on, mate.
You picked him out. Hey, listen, while we're shouting people out, can I just shout out everyone in the Current Booze platform circle? Because Habby asked about that. And also to the lovely lady called Jen and her husband Rich and their kids who are going for a really tough time tonight. And I said I'd shout them out as well. They're people that need a lot of, just good thoughts for those of you who do that sort of stuff. So anyway, mate, it's been an exciting, like I said, day to day talking to you, going back and forth with what we, and it's when I was talking about the stuff in Circle about, I realised it hit me yesterday that we're going back to West Ham United, and I don't care how cheesy that sounds because there's no division now. There's no reason. There might be a little bit of an overspill where some people be like, "Oh, you was Moyes in, you was Moyes."
The only way, listen, it won't be gone straight away because if we don't start well, it will kick off again. It will kick off again, and it will be a flip. It will be a flip. So the Moyes in, Moyes out, they'll flip now because so the only way this can really be unified is if this works with Lopetegui. And what I think by work is we just have a good season, exciting season, enjoy the football. I'm not even talking about qualifying for Europe. I think that we possibly could with the targets that we're linked with the ambition that we're showing, with the players that we've already got. I think we could if everything clicks. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason why not. We've got a fucking good team. We've got some good players. So I think we could, but if we got mid-table, but had some good football, actually went to a game
Mate,
and come away
yeah.
feeling like you've enjoyed it, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice,
Mate,
really.
Get up out your seat, to not look at the same dross that you've looked at for the last 3 years. It's going to be something different.
There
That
we
in
go.
itself is enough to be excited about.
There's the man. That's Jake. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. That's brilliant. And hello to Lee as well. Hello to Lee as well. Yeah, no, it was honestly, it was a wonderful message to get this week. It really was. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. Really is.
Yeah,
But
mate.
yeah.
And on that note, you shouldn't play it down, mate. Like there's things like that, and there's some other things that have happened, like so positive, which is all still West Ham related at the end of the day. This is all claret and booze, so you should take them moments to enjoy that because it's fucking important, mate. It adds to the good vibes moving forward.
It does. Yes, and here's another one as well. We know while we're at it, Nick turns water into tea, but not just any tea. It's got to be the Kent and Sussex Tea and Coffee Company. For those of you that don't know, we're sponsored by. It's a good segue. Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you very much. I've not really given them a shout out a little while. I'm going to give you a big push. Don't you worry, David. I'm going to give you a big push next week. Love our sponsor. Yeah, no, it is, mate. I'll tell you what, we've done West Ham because I've got a little chat tomorrow as well. We've got a few of these sort of talking heads coming up. So I've got let's talk about England. Let's look ahead to England. So look, this Southgate debate, right? I'm not a Southgate fan, but it could well be that two of the most miserable, horrible, boring managers in my lifetime could be the managers that deliver me my only silverware in my lifetime as well. I mean, what the fucking odds of that? Because we might not win it. It's quite possible we could never win another trophy in my lifetime. David Moyes delivered one for West Ham. Southgate could be delivering one for England. Now, I've been calling for his head the whole way through this tournament. I've been liking it. I'm not going to apologise. I'm not going to apologise for what I was saying about Southgate because I mean every fucking word of it. He's lucky as sin. If you saw the run to the final, but you know what? You've got to suck it up a little bit. We've grown into the tournament. We have people played down the Switzerland game. I think the Switzerland were a good team that battered Italy. Sorry, Luigi. They did. They battered Italy. They were a good team. We was never ever going to destroy them. I was expecting a close, cagey game. I was. We beat them. We got past them. And that game against Holland, something else that I identified in that game. Okay. There is a reason why I think we've struggled a little bit in this tournament. And that's because of the amount of talent that we've got, which we saw in the first half against Holland. Holland were the first team that came at us. The first team that tore out the blocks and left gaps. Well, we had a fucking field day. Foden was just pulling the strings. We looked brilliant in that first half. And then Koeman shit himself and was like, no, whoa. And he shit himself. And then when they came out in the second half, Holland were playing a low block. They ain't played that way through the whole tournament. So I do think that there is that to it as well. I do think that teams have been playing a shit way against us. And I don't think, even though we should have the craft to unpick a deep defence and stuff like that, they're not a team that plays together every week. I know they're great players, but they're not a team, a group of players that plays together every week. It's not. There's no telepathy there. They're a collection of players. You might have a couple of players in that squad that have got a relationship there, but on the whole, they come together. They come together in this tournament. And I don't know. I can't help it. Against Spain, it could go either way. Of course it could, because Spain could tear out the blocks. They could knock a couple in. But also, they could tear out the blocks. They could miss their chance, leave gaps down the other end. We could fucking capitalise. We could beat them. We could beat Spain. No one was talking about Spain before this tournament. They weren't. But they're the surprise package. Spain are the surprise package of this tournament. No one was really talking about them. But they've been amazing in this tournament. We can beat them. But there is that worry. There is that worry that he could choke and he could swallow it in the final. Because I think we should be beating Spain. Ignoring how good they've been, we're a better team. Player for player, England are far better than Spain. but obviously they're more of a team, more of a unit. They're playing better football, but we should be beating them. I think we will. I thought we was going to beat Holland, and we did. You know, and what a goal, by the way, from Watkins. My God.
Mate, and listen, in regards to England, I've admitted I flip flop like fuck because I say I don't really care. It's not West Ham, and it was all Southgate when we was playing really, really shit, just like David Moyes. And then irrefutably, it's got a bit better until the other night. I was fully all in, like when I Gareth, like because the thing is, it don't change. But I'm just being honest. I'll flip flop with England because it would be nice to win with England, but with West Ham, it's a different kettle of fish, bruv. Yeah, I know it's hypocritical.
No.
I don't really care.
It's completely different. I don't really have the same emotional investment. I mean, it was Hammers Mikey put a question on Circle earlier on, and he said, if you had your wedding booked on the Sunday or the day of a cup final for England, would you reschedule it? And I was like, not for England, probably not. I said I'd have an AirPod in. Because this is a great major trophy for England. It is, right? But if I compare how I feel about this compared to how I felt about the conference win, I think, there was like 100 times more excitement for me with West Ham in the conference final than what there is for this. I am looking forward to it. Of course I am. It would be lovely to win. But it's not. There's no comparison. There really isn't. So therefore, I don't have that same level of emotion. I don't really buy into it as much. I don't analyse it as much either. I don't really care. I have found it painful to watch. But I don't care as much about England. That's the thing. I don't. If he gets us to a final and he wins it, for me, I still think that should be it. I think he should bow out with his head. He should do, because I do think that we need another manager. We should be playing a different style. But you can't argue against it, unfortunately. If the fucker goes and wins it, they're going to give him another contract anyway. It ain't even a conversation. They will. He'll get another contract.
Even all this bit sounds all too familiar from a story that we've been going through for a few years.
I know.
With a certain person.
I just don't care as much. I just don't care as much. That's the thing.
Yeah, fuck it. But here's a question. Final. If he was to drop Kane, which we know he's not, who would you start? Tony or Watkins?
Watkins.
All day long.
I would start Watkins. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I love Tony. I love Tony, but you saw what Watkins brought. It was I mean that was such an instinctive finish. It was fucking beautiful. It was honestly it was, and you know what? It's so obvious, but the trouble is, obviously, it looks like a masterclass by Southgate because it kind of was, because his two substitutes, one set him up. It's the sort of thing that happens to Moyes. They're so lucky, these managers, they are. But he's literally, Palmer's come on, slipped him through, and it was just a great goal, Give himself half a yard, smashed it through the defender's legs, across the goalkeeper, textbook strike. It was unbelievable. It's exactly how I coach my players to shoot. It is.
Did you jump up and down? Did you do something to celebrate?
Yeah, but no, in all fairness, it was a textbook goal. He made a good run. Yeah. You hold the defender off, you shoot across the goalkeeper. It really was. It was a brilliant goal. Couldn't have hit it anywhere else.
Wasn't that the first time the whole tournament that basic move which you would expect to strike? Wasn't that the first time that's happened for us in the whole tournament? Where
100%,
because I don't remember Kane.
No, because you've got a striker all of a sudden that's breaking the lines, that's making runs. People have complained I've complained. I'm not saying people. I've complained profusely about our lack of chance creation and everything else. But we've been playing without a striker. If you remember in the last game, Saka, who I'm not the biggest fan of, although he has played well in the last few games, I'm not the biggest fan of. He flashed out that chance, that sort of ball across the goal again, and Kane's nowhere. He's nowhere. So how can you create a chance for the bloke if he ain't even half the time he's at fucking left back? Oh, look how I can switch a ball to the fucking right wing. You're a striker. Go up front.
How many times did you see all of a sudden he appears on screen back near the 18-yard box?
I know.
What's he doing? What's he fucking doing? And you think, who's there? Then there's just a big gap. We're not even playing that strategy for someone. No one breaks in then, so he's just left this big hole. That is, mate. I bet that shows he's desperate. I think
he is desperate. But do you know what? Even that, I've been digging Kane out, yeah, because it ain't his fault he's being played. It's not his fault. He's been lazy in this tournament. I firmly believe that. I think he's not been running enough. He's not been pressing. But against Holland, do you know something? In the first half, he did. He didn't half give it some. And then there is no way on earth, because he got hooked off on 75, didn't he? There is no way that his fucking foot weren't damaged by that, where he followed through onto that bloke's studs, because he went full pelt through when he hit that shot. You know, we got the penalty, which I don't think was a penalty, but I'm glad we got it. That would have messed his foot up 100%, and he did carry on playing. He carried on running. So, do you know what? I think you just got to get behind them now. What I don't like about what they've done in this tournament, and I really don't like it, and it started with Bellingham and Rice and a few of the others and Southgate, is they've adopted this siege mentality where it's us against the England fans. They adopted that really quickly, really quickly. It was kind of, you know, and that was when I came out and I said what I said. You know, are they playing for England or are they playing for themselves here? What's going on? Because that ain't how it felt. Yeah. But I must admit, it felt a bit different after the semi-final game. They was all there with the fans. If they were celebrating, it was different. You know, look, maybe Southgate's just trying something different. They said on the commentary the other day that Southgate has got more tournament experience than anyone else in terms of as a player, in terms of as an under-21s coach, in terms of as an England manager. He's got more tournament experience. Maybe this was a strategy. Maybe this was kind of an idea. I'm gonna lock them all together. I'm gonna turn them against them fucking fans who keep on cussing me every 2 seconds.
Even that stat, right? So what was David Moyes? Wasn't he at that point the most amount of matches managed in the Premier League as well?
Yes,
like these two. They're like, it is like, for West Ham fans, it's like, oh, give us, it's like pulling your leg.
mate, but the thing is, and this is true, it is undeniable, right? They are lucky. Like Moyes was fuck lucky, right? He was so lucky. Southgate has been incredibly lucky. He's almost had a fucking chauffeur-driven limo to the semi-final and final in the last 3 tournaments. When you look at the 2 lots of semi-finals, what'd you have? Spain. You had Spain, Portugal, Germany, and who was the other one? France. We had Turkey. We had Turkey, Holland, and Switzerland. That's the difference. But you know what? Holland ain't a bad team. No, they're not a bad team. We actually beat a good team there. We did. We beat a good team. You know.
Yeah, and the first half. It was wonderful to watch. I was well happy watching England in that first half. Foden, whether it was because they came at us or not, it was just good to see we fucking took advantage of it and we played football. Like, it was lovely to see the little like Foden he was like a wand. It was fucking unbelievable.
That strike that hit the crossbar. That was fucking. It was a brilliant strike. Apparently, Ipswich have signed Greaves. It's a shame, that one. I'd have liked us to have got him, but we've got our left-sided centre-back now. We've got Max Kilman. So it was going to be Kilman or Greaves, I believe that. I think that's what it was going to be. So it is a bit of a shame. But look, we can't sign every player we've been linked with. I'll tell you who I'd rather us sign is the other one from Hull, that Philligan. Have you seen his showreel?
No.
Right, if you have a look at his showreel when you're done, I know you like a showreel. Basically, think back to 15-16 Payet. 15-16 Payet. Yeah, really. This player is mustard, honestly.
That's a brilliant. Fucking big claim, bro. That is a big claim. That's when he was...
He's class. He's a class player. Yeah. He is, yeah.
What? No. How much? I don't really know much about... What's the money with him?
Hey?
What sort of money are you talking for him, then?
I think you're looking at between 50 and 25. Ipswich and Aston Villa are in the hunt for him. It was looking like Ipswich were almost done. Obviously, they've signed Greaves. They were trying to do a double deal with Greaves and Philligan, 2 players that we've been linked with. Yeah. But then Aston Villa have sort of joined in the hunt for him. So, because it's looking like they might be losing that Diaby. Do you know Diaby they bought from Leverkusen last summer? Apparently,
he's been quality.
Yeah, but he could be going to Saudi for 60 million, so they're going to have some money there. Yeah, look, apparently. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Falongi. You've murdered that spelling there, Ben. Yeah. Philligan.
Hello,
He's going to
shout
Villa.
out to Ben, by the way. Shout out to you,
hello,
mate.
Ben.
But listen, that is Villa. These are the teams as well. We definitely next season, like, we should be better than looking at the players that we've got. Like, even now, I genuinely think we should now be looking, especially if we keep Paqueta.
They should be our target. They should be our target, I think.
Yeah,
Villa.
I don't see when we play them. I'd be disappointed if everyone was playing in the right position. Everyone was where they were supposed to. That as a basic, like Kudus, all of them, Paqueta where he's supposed to play, with the likelihood of a Duran up front. There's no reason I wouldn't go into that game with that team thinking we should beat them. Like we should do 100%. This.
100%. What's Irish Tommy saying here? Hello, mate. Good to see you. He says that Spain will punish England for their deficiencies, unlike the teams they've played so far. That
is a strong possibility.
It's a strong possibility, but when you talk about deficiencies, I think it was up until like the fourth game, fifth game. If you look at GA in terms of goals expected against, we was like the top of the table. Nobody was expected to score. Nobody was creating chances against us. They weren't. So because teams were just sitting deep. So I don't know what we got in terms of deficiencies, because I think we're going to be all right. I think if Shaw's back, because Shaw's had two tasters now. I reckon he'll start the final. I think Shaw will. So you're going to have Shaw and you're going to have Walker on at the full. Well, having said that, I don't know. Would he play wing backs again? I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to understand what he's going to do in this one. He'll probably play fucking 8 at the back or something. He will shit himself in the final. He will. Against Spain, he will. I think he will.
But listen, in regards to what Tommy said, he has got a point, because in fairness, mate, the first couple of games, all I watched was fucking deficiencies as England. Yeah. Like, we looked, regardless of what they did, which we can't control, we looked like we didn't know what the fuck we was doing. Now, yes, we've got a bit better. We have got a bit better, but Spain look mustard. And if we're anything like we was and them playing like they're playing, again, this is for me why I don't really think we're going to win, if I'm being honest, mate, because likelihood on form, they should batter us. But I get what you're saying. We are better man for man and all the rest of it. But look at some of the teams in this fucking tournament, your Austrias and was it Georgia? Some of the who do some good teams look better than us, mate.
Louis got a good point. Spain can't defend for shit. They can't. They do concede. They do concede. And this from Dino, very good point. He's not being suspicious, but the last time England won anything, West Ham won a European trophy the season before.
Oh, mate, Dino.
That's it. See? It's written in the stars, I'm telling you. It's going to happen. I'll tell you, it is like a sick joke, though, isn't it? It's a sick joke that these two managers are going to be the ones.
You put them right. And for you, it's been wonderful, but we've got some more ransom of you. It's been lovely.
Yeah. I'm all Southgated out.
But you'll be fucking singing, bruv, like a bird. Can we win that? Can you imagine? It'll be the same thing, jumping up and going mental.
Look. When it comes to like I said earlier on, when it comes to England, I'm not as invested. I don't really care. Yeah, look, Mick Nardini says, "Have you got gas-powered broadband?" I don't know what's going on with his connection. As long as you can all hear him, all right. That's the main thing. But anyway, look, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll close it down with your predictions in the chat. Go on, let us know what you think it's going to be. Give us your scores. Go on, Jay. What do you reckon the score's going to be? I'll start throwing them up.
I'm completely honest. I'm going to go with the old positive Jay and go that England are going to win 2-1. But I feel like I'm lying when I'm saying it, but I'm going with that 2-1.
You reckon 2-1? I'm going to go for 3-0 in normal time. I'm going to go for 1-0 in extra time. And I'm going to go for West Ham. I'm going to go for England to win on penalties. 3-3.
Mate,
I think it's going to be a thriller. It's going to be a thriller because I think Spain are not going to sit. Spain are going to sit back. They ain't going to sit back. They're going to fly at us, and we're good when we concede. That's when we go. I think it's going to be a bit back and forth. It's going to be a completely anti. I don't think there's going to be anything Southgate can do about it, because if we're getting flooded like what Holland were initially in that game, they scored. All of a sudden, we woke up. We had the best half of football because the players woke up. We started pushing. That's what I think will happen. I think if there's an early goal, it's going to be a goal fest. That's what I reckon. Right, let's put some of these up.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Give us your fantasy finish to the final. What would be your ideal way for us to win it?
For me,
yeah.
Do you know what, mate? I've not given it that much thought, but to be honest, do you know what I'd love? Because how Watkins celebrated when he scored that goal, I would love
Brilliant.
Watkins to get the winning goal. That's what I'd love, because he got me when he turned round, and you look at the contrast between his celebration and Jude Bellingham, like chalk and cheese.
Yeah.
In regards to how they celebrate. And for me, the dream finish would be Watkins ripping his fucking shirt off and fucking.
There's a glaring error in your fantasy here, Jay, and that is what about Jared Bowen?
Oh, fucking no, I done it wrong in there, didn't I? Jared Bowen slipped him through.
Yeah.
Slipped him through. Fucking no.
It's got to be Bowen, isn't it? I'll tell you what. Here's a question for you. Here's a question for you, everyone. We get to penalties. Do you want Bowen to take one?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes. Absolutely.
In a final. You'd like. I'd rather he be sat on the bench, mate. I've got to be honest. It's just that pressure, because, mate. Any player that misses that, they get fucking ruined, don't they? They get ruined. It's awful. We saw what happened with the last lot when they missed.
Saka and the rest of them,
yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But look, anyway, that's it from us. A very short, sharp show. We just thought we'd come on, talk a bit of West Ham, talk a bit of England, just to kick it off again, kick off the live shows. We was going to come. There was going to be a big group show on Sunday, but obviously we couldn't get anyone on tonight, and we can't do it Sunday now because England are going to be beating Spain. So we will be back next weekend. We'll probably do the phone-ins as well. All right? Okay, that's it from us. Hope you enjoyed it. Speak to you all soon. Come on, you irons.